Hey guys, what's up? It's Spartacus here. So literally right after I finished my last video commenting on the cards, they released 3 new ones. So they're just pumping these out, it seems, which is really exciting. So it seems like I'll be doing more of these videos in the coming days because we're probably going to see more new cards. But they released 3 more new ones, and I'm going to talk about them. So let's just dive right into them. The first card that they released is Flamewalker. It is a 3 mana 2/4 rare minion for Mage that reads, after you cast a spell, deal 2 damage, randomly split among all enemies. So basically what this means is any spell you cast, doesn't matter what it's facing or what it's targeted to or anything that's a spell, uh, this is going to spit out 2 damage in like or 1 damage a time basically. So it'll spit out 2 times. So it's like 1 damage to one thing, 1 damage to another thing, either going to be the enemy's face or a random character or like a random enemy. So yeah, either the face or the minions basically. So kind of cool, you know. It doesn't seem all that unfair enough for constructed, to be completely honest. Like, it just doesn't seem like that's an all right effect, but it's nothing spectacular. What you would think about this pairing up with is spare parts, so it's like another card you might put in Mech Mage. That's the one place I see it probably being tested first, even though it's not a mech, but it's going to be like Archmage, where I guess if you don't draw the Archmage, but you draw this, then you can get some more random damage, you know, kind of like how Goblin Blast Mage just does a bunch of random damage, and that's really powerful. So you have a couple spare parts in your hand, you play this, you play the spare parts, and then you get 4 random damage. So similar to the Blast Mage's effect, you know? So that's pretty cool in that way, and we'll see if it works. I kind of doubt it will because the body just isn't big enough. So you can't play this on turn 3 because in constructed things just get removed so quickly. So you can just assume it'll be removed and it'll just be 2/4, which is a, you know, mediocre body out for a 3 mana minion in constructed at least. In arena, the body's average. And in arena, this card will be good. It'll be solid. I mean, it'll if you play it on turn 3, it'll be a 2/4. But if you can get it off with some spells and stuff, then I mean, it could really swing an arena game early on. If you can play this and then they don't immediately kill it, and then you play a Frostbolt, and then this kills something else, that might just win you the game. So it's definitely going to be a worthy card of picking in arena. There are obviously better rares. There are definitely worse rares. So Flamewaker, I think, will be tested and constructed and not quite work. I mean, I play a lot of mid-range mage, a lot of echo mage, and this card simply won't work in that either. You know, I mean, it's all right, but the 3 slot already has like double Kirin mages and Tempo, for example, Tempo Mage, and that's where I see this card maybe working. But again, like there's already all those Kirin mages and secrets in the 3 slot, so you don't really need this. But it's a cool card design, and it'll be tried out. I believe it'll be a solid arena card, and it just won't cut it in constructed unless we see a different archetype. But its best synergy is with spare parts. Okay, moving on to the Core Rager. The Core Rager is a 4 mana 4/4 beast, rare for Hunter, and it has a battle cry. If your hand is empty, gain +3/+3. So that's pretty cool. I mean, 4 mana 7/7 in if your hand's empty. So here's the main problem with the card. So people are gonna be like, "Wow, that's cool," but like on turn 4 you get a 7/7, but on turn 4 your hand won't be empty. Like for them, unless your whole deck is 1 drops. Like consistently, your hand is just not going to be empty on turn 4. Not only that, but you don't want your hand to be empty as a hunter. This isn't Zoo. Zoo, you empty your hand. You know, you play your so you can play your Doom Guards without and your Soulfires back in the day before Soulfire got nerfed. Before you could discard anything. So, and then you just tap for more cards. You can't tap as a hunter. So basically your hand in hunter gets empty in the really late game when you're really, really close to beating them. Like you're so close. And you know, they've stabilized and you just need a little more damage. And when you need a little more damage, what you want to top deck is damage. Like kill commands or your bow, for example. Like in Face Hunter, everything does damage. Like everything does direct damage pretty well. So those are the cards you put in Face Hunter, because if you top deck them, then you can, you know, get an extra 4 damage for an arcane, you know, goodness, I'm blanking on the card, but you understand what I mean. So that's why I just don't think this card's very good. In pretty well every situation, this card is a 4 mana 4/4 beast. So, you know, vanilla stats and poor stats for constructed, to be honest. So I don't think it'll see play. I mean, if you're going to add a card in your deck that you're like, oh, I want, like, if I'm in top decking mode, because like they do get to that point, and I haven't quite like gotten close enough to get damage. So let's just say you're in top decking mode, they've stabilized, they have like 10 health, and you can't draw 10 damage in one card, and you're like, oh, I'll put Core Rager in. You know what card you should actually put in? Deathwing. Because Deathwing might actually win you the game. That is a card you want to top deck. That's a card I did experiment with in Hunter, and it actually worked. This card will it'll give you a nice body, but it won't actually make that big of an impact on the board immediately. And if you're playing a control deck, chances are they'll just be able to clear a 7/7, especially with all the big game hunters around. So I actually think this card is subpar. And in Arena, again, it's a 4 mana 4/4. Like, if your hand is at, although there is top decking mode in Arena a lot too, and this would be a good card to top deck. So I think it's slightly better in Arena, and you can try it out in Arena. I think it'll be, a little below average for a rare. Like, if you top deck it, because there's top decking mode in Arena, and you can empty your hand in Arena fairly easily when the mana crystals are at 10 and you only have a couple cards, then this could be a big swing later on. And on turn 4, it's a 4 mana 4/4, and you can live with that. So in Arena, I guess this card is all right. And in Constructed, I just don't think it's quite will cut it. Even though it does have the beast on it, just not enough. So the third card that they revealed is a Warlock card. It is the Imp Gang Boss, a 3 mana 2/4 that reads, whenever this minion takes damage, summon a 1/1 Imp. So technically you could say this is a 3 mana 3/5 in stats, because for pretty well every single time this is going to take damage. At least like 4 damage straight up. Like, this will take damage unless they use hard removal on it. And I doubt they'd waste their polymorphs, hexes, and anything else like that on it, unless you put it like you buffed it up somehow. So this is a 3 mana 3/5, which sounds really strong. But the problem is that 1/1s are really, like, when you split it up and one of the bodies is a 1/1, that makes it really inconsequential in most cases. It's like why Razorfen Hunter never saw any like play, because even though it was like technically a 3/4 body, which we didn't have before GVG until the Spider Tank came around. I mean, we had Dark Cultist, but neutral minion. It's Razorfen Hunter still didn't see play because the 1/1 was just so weak. So when you split it up like that, it just doesn't work out. Now, if you can get this to take damage multiple times, then you can get a bunch of imps, and we all know how powerful a bunch of imps are from Implosion. Like, it's tough to deal with all those, and then you can buff them up, and you can Defender of Argus them, and if you get Mal'Ganis down, then they all get buffed up and all that fun stuff. So I'm sure this card will be tried out in Demon Lock, and I honestly don't think it'll cut it. So a little disappointing there, but it'll be tried out. I think it's worthy to be tried out, and we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it does cut it. Maybe there's a combo where, I mean, if you Defender of Argus this thing, you can count on it taking damage a couple times, and the fact that it just keeps snowballing out with more imps, that's just more for your opponent to deal with. So, I mean, it is possible that this card could be much better than I think it is, but I think it's gonna be tried out, constructed, and then probably isn't gonna work out in that area. So in Arena, it's a pretty good card though. I mean, 3 mana 2/4 is average stats for a 3-drop in Arena. A mediocre, but basically it is a 3 mana 3/5 because it's gonna probably take damage, and that 1 damage from the imp can do something. I mean, they could ping it off, but that's 2 mana they have to spend on that, and so you kind of like you'll get decent value from this card in Arena. I think it's an uncommon, so it'll be going up against some pretty crappy cards. So I'm sure you'll see this a lot in Arena, and you'll probably be inclined to take it because it'll probably be better than the other ones, and especially if you can get it dealt damage to it 2 times. I mean, it does have 4 health, so that is certainly possible, and then you can get more imps. So I think it's actually a very solid Arena card. So those are the 3 new cards. Stay tuned, subscribe, like for more uh, previews of when the new cards come out, and comment. Tell me what you think. If you completely disagree on any of these cards, let me know. So thanks. I'm Spartacus, and I will see you next time.